Chapter 5, Stabilizing Your Energy Using the Spoon Theory. Managing energy levels is a psychological journey. Discovering I wasn't autistic brought me a profound sense of liberation, and yet it also introduced some of the most challenging grief I've experienced, grieving my limits. These limits, spanning categories from energetic to sensory relational, are often the hardest to accept and adapt to. In my work with autistic people, I find this process of grieving our limits to be one of the areas where we struggle most. Here's the thing, when you're autistic, we need a lot of rest, like an annoying amount of rest, and when we don't get that, our system tends to shut down. Hello, burnout. This chapter is perhaps the most important in this book, and it could be the hardest chapter for you to work through. The techniques in this chapter are actually not hard, but coming to terms with your energy limits and learning to honor them is some of the hardest work of being autistic. We face both external challenges and internal struggles like grief and internalized ableism, which can hinder our ability to manage energy effectively. Before we dive into practical tools for energy management, it is important to first address these psychological barriers. In this chapter, we will explore the boom or bust cycle of energy and learn about pacing systems, specifically the spoon theory. Keep in mind that although the ideas may seem straightforward, the real challenge lies in the psychological journey of accepting and implementing them. What lies on the other side of that acceptance is a world where you know how to anticipate your energy needs and replenish your energy levels. Capiche? Capiche. Grieving your limits. After an autism diagnosis, many people do a lot of clearing. We clear out old expectations, old items, old beliefs. Some of this clearing will feel liberating, like when I threw away all my lacy clothes and high-heeled shoes. Ugh. And some of this clearing will be hard and involve grief work. However, on the other side of that grieving is the liberation and freedom to accept what it is. Clearing means that you let yourself grieve the things that are different from what you expected so that you can appreciate what it is. You might find yourself mourning and working to clear a variety of experiences. For example, you might have grief about decisions you previously made. Perhaps you fell into addiction or unhealthy relationship patterns while simply trying to survive. Grief about the years you didn't know about your autism, or grief about your limits, to build a life that truly aligns with your needs. It is helpful to identify and work through these griefs. Ways to process my grief. Write a letter to my past or future self. Process in therapy or with a good friend. Identify the values under grief. Engage in creative expression. Addressing internalized ableism. Internalized ableism refers to the negative messages you've absorbed about your disability or about disabled people in general. One sneaky way this manifests is when you hold yourself to neurotypical standards and expect yourself to perform accordingly. These beliefs often cause you to push past your limits and ignore your need for rest. It's crucial to recognize and address these beliefs in order to properly manage your energy. Examples of thoughts related to internalized ableism. Have you ever said any of these things to yourself? I just need to push through. This is simple. It shouldn't be so hard. My friend can do this. I should be able to do this. I just rested yesterday. Why am I still tired? Exercises for working through your internalized ableism. Talk to yourself as you would talk to a friend. Identify the core beliefs in your ableist statements. Identify the core fear in your ableist statements. Understanding the boom and bust energy cycle. The boom and bust energy cycle, which is common among people with disabilities or chronic illnesses, involves overextending yourself and then experience a significant energy crash. While healthy individuals may recover quickly, autistic people and others with chronic conditions often take much longer to bounce back. On days when we have more energy or less pain, the urge to catch up on tasks can be overwhelming, lending us to ignore our body's signals and push past our limits. The cycle goes like this. Starting with overexertion, that leads to fatigue and burnout, and then we have too much rest and frustration, and then we feel better, so we have overexertion, and then we have fatigue and burnout, and then we have rest and frustration, and then we go back to overexertion, and so on and so forth for the continuing forever. Why is this pattern problematic? This pattern becomes troublesome when it evolves into a lifestyle that drives you towards burnout. Here are a few of the problems associated with this cycle. 1. It demands a prolonged recovery. Each time you push yourself beyond your body's limits, recovery takes longer, deepening the burnout and exacerbating the symptoms like chronic pain and fatigue. 2. It takes you on an emotional roller coaster. Your moods often mirror this cycle of energy expenditure and recovery, meaning that you experience periods of positivity and accomplishment during your boom days, followed by dips into sadness and disappointment during your bust days. It is important to know that to some degree of the boom and bust cycle is inevitable for neurodivergent people due to our interest based nervous system, all or nothing instincts, and capacity for hyperfocus. The goal is not to eliminate this cycle completely, but to recognize it, understand it, and learn to work with it better. What are pacing systems? A pacing system is a tool that helps you sustainably monitor and manage your energy. These systems lay out ways to distribute your energy more evenly throughout your days, reducing the severity of the energy crashes. Here are some other benefits of pacing systems. They can help you navigate the boom and bust roller coaster. Several practices can gently ease you away from the highs and lows of the boom and bust cycle. These include addressing internalized ableism, setting respectful boundaries, and cultivating healthy sleep habits. Additionally, pacing systems can be a crucial aid in breaking this cycle. By integrating one or more of these strategies thoughtfully, you'll move towards a more balanced daily rhythm. They can help you manage pain. My introduction into the pacing system came while working as a behavioral health therapist in an oncology clinic, where I helped patients manage their energy and pain through careful pacing of activities. Pacing systems are invaluable in medical settings, especially for people dealing with chronic pain, fatigue, and other conditions associated with disabilities or chronic health issues. They can give you greater control over your life. Pacing systems foster a more empowered lifestyle, increasing your sense of control, granting you greater agency over your daily activities, and reducing the feeling of being at the mercy of your body's fluctuating capacities. 3 benefits of pacing systems for autistic people. Anyone can use pacing systems, but I find that they're especially useful for autistic people. Here's my top 3 reasons why. They're tangible and visual. Pacing systems transform abstract concepts like, what the heck is energy, into tangible visual elements that are particularly resonant for autistic minds. The visual metaphors, such as spoons or energy units, provide concrete discussion anchors. I took 3 spoons out of my system when I took a shower. They provide a specific vocabulary. These systems offer specific languages to discuss your needs, moving beyond, I'm tired, to more precise expressions. By using terms like energy units, you can clearly articulate your state to others, supporting effective communication and self-advocacy. 3, they help cultivate self-compassion. Pacing systems encourage regular mindful self-check-ins. They prompt you to ask questions like, how am I feeling right now? How much energy do I have? How much demanding is this activity I'm doing? And what do I need? The practice of gentle self-assessment encourages you to regularly check in with your needs and be responsive to them. Pacing systems to choose from. There are several different pacing systems out there. In this chapter, we will be focusing on spoon theory, as it is one of the most widely used in disability spaces. But if spoons don't resonate you can either swap out your spoon for another item, or you could see if one of these alternate pacing systems might work better for you. The traffic light system. This method categorizes daily activities by energy demand, green for low energy or energy restoration activities, yellow for moderate, and red for high amounts of energy. By identifying activities in this way, you can spread out red light activities among plenty of yellow and green ones. Second idea, energy accounting. Created by autistic advocate Mahat Taudel, this approach treats energy like a bank account, balancing every energy-intensive task's withdrawals with rest deposits to avoid overdrafts and potential meltdowns. It involves listing activities. For example, you could assign energy costs on a 1 to 100 scale, then track your energy balance using those numbers. Ew, math. 3. Ticket theory. Develop your autistic YouTuber Hillary Knutson. This theory views daily tasks as carnival rides needing specific tickets. For example, a ticket for brushing your teeth cannot be used for washing dishes, and if you don't use your homework ticket on time, you miss the chance to do it until you get another ticket. This model, including features like expiring tickets, highlights the challenges of executive functioning and interest-driven focus. The origin of the spoon theory. The spoon theory was birthed in a diner where Christine M., now an award-winning writer, blogger, speaker, and lupus patient advocate, was having a meal with her college friend. Her friend inquired about what it was like to live with lupus, a chronic medical condition. After struggling with it to explain the medical details of lupus, Christine realized her friend was asking, what does it feel like? At this point, Christine grabbed all of the spoons at the table and maybe the ones nearby, and gave her friend a handful of spoons. She told her friend that most people wake up with an endless supply of spoons, but here, for this experiment, she would have 12. She then asked her friend to walk through her day, starting with waking up in the morning, listing every and each task she completed. Christine took a spoon from her friend for every single activity she listed. For example, waking up, showering, getting dressed, etc. Christine used this metaphor to explain that when she woke up, she had a limited number of spoons and therefore had to meticulously think about each and every choice she made. Navigating life with chronic illness meant she had to deliberately allocate her spoons to various activities throughout the day. This metaphor is now widely used in the context of disability advocacy. It has become a powerful means for explaining how people grappling with chronic illness or fatigue must maintain a heightened awareness of their energy allocation. This concept is particularly helpful for those dealing with invisible disabilities, as it turns the invisible visible through the use of the metaphor. For this example, 1 spoon is 1 energy unit. We are going to stop there for this week.